Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. Hey, it's Michelle here. You are listening to the Calm Mom Podcast. I'm so grateful you're here. You guys just heard it. Burnout Recovery Blueprint registration is open. I could not be more excited to welcome you guys into the program. We start on January 20. So if you've been thinking about it, if it feels aligned for you, if it feels like the right time, if you know you need this, I cannot encourage you more to go ahead and save your spot before we fill up. I know it's going to sell out. I'm really excited about the women that have already registered. It's going to be so special. I just can't wait. So if you've been thinking about it, here's your sign. Go ahead, click on the link in the show notes. It'll take you to the webpage all about it, and you can learn more there. And then you can also register and save your spot because, my friend, I know it, 2025 is the year you put your foot down and you say, no more burnout. Oh, I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to regulate my nervous system. I am going to feel good this year. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do today, I'm really excited about this. It's a 2-part series and I'm calling it Find Your Chill. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about 3 ways, 3 tools, 3 nervous system regulation resources to help you calm an overactive nervous system. Now, I know there's a lot of noise out there about self-care and stress management. Not even a lot of noise. Like, I think a lot of it is really good. And I want there to be more education and resources for self-care and stress management. But the truth is that a lot of it is just Band-Aid, right? It's like quick fix. It doesn't really get to the root of the problem. So I want to interrupt that. And I want to be here as a resource for you guys for simple science-backed tools that will get to the bottom of what you're experiencing and really help to shift the state of your nervous system out of fight or flight, out of a freeze or shutdown response, and into a place of safety and calm and being grounded and present and that good space where we want to spend most of our time, right? And when you practice these tools regularly, you guys, I am telling you, don't count them out because of their simplicity. They can completely change the way you feel about your body and your life and the way you show up. So whether you've been dealing with burnout, anxiety, just like the constant hum of stress in the background of life, stick with me because you're going to walk away from this episode with really practical steps that you can use today to feel better. And if you're ready for even more support, guys, Burnout Recovery Blueprint is your jam. It's going to be awesome. It's going to guide you further. I will be there with you every Thursday. We're going to meet. I'll take you step by step, answer all your questions, give you like the framework for healing so you don't feel overwhelmed by all of the different approaches and where do I start and how do I do this and all the things. I'm going to make it so stinking easy for you. But before we dive into these tools today, I just want to take a minute because I think it's really important that we understand what's actually happening in our body when our nervous system is overactive, right? This is where understanding a little science here can make a huge difference in how we approach chilling out and calming down. Our nervous system, first, foremost, always of primary importance, our nervous system is designed to keep us safe. That's its number one job, always. So when our nervous system senses any sort of threat, danger, right? Real threat or just a perceived threat, it activates our body's fight or flight response, which makes so much sense, right? It's awesome. It's this brilliant system for keeping us alive in emergencies. But the problem is that in today's world and the ways in which we live and the pace with which we live, our nervous systems get triggered by things that aren't actually life-threatening, right? Like that email from your boss, that, side eye from your husband, that comment from your kid, that thing you have to put together for, the school science fair next week or whatever it is. Like none of these things are life-threatening. However, they trigger the same physiological response in our body as though we were in a real life or death situation, right? As though it were an actual emergency or threat to our physical safety. So what happens is that our body is constantly perceiving all of these threats, right? It's like, no, there's not a threat to my actual safety. It's just my kids whining and complaining and fighting about something in the other room. But my nervous system doesn't know that. And my nervous system jumps into fight or flight response. And what happens is that when that stress is chronic, which most of us are under some level of chronic stress, we stay stuck in that high alert mode. And it feels like, to our nervous system, we're constantly running from a tiger, even though there ain't no tiger. And it's just like the emails and the housework and the groceries and, all of the things, right? That's why we often notice physical symptoms like muscle tension, clenching our jaw, right? Headaches, not sleeping well, even autoimmune conditions, gut issues, things with our breathing, right? Shallow breathing, digestive stuff. Our body is just doing its job, but it's working overtime because our body does not get the signal that it's safe to calm down, right? Our body's not getting the signal that it's like, hey, step back. It's okay. We're not going to be eaten by a tiger right now, right? We can come out of this hypervigilance fight or flight mode. And that's where the tools you're going to learn today come in, you guys. Because what happens with these tools, these body-based somatic practices, is that they close that stress loop. They send the signal to your body of safety. They let your nervous system know, hey, it's okay to not be super anxious about this right now, or really worried about this, or super irritable because you have no bandwidth right now. It's okay to step out of fight or flight and come back to homeostasis, come back to that state of rest and repair. So it's not really about just feeling calm in the moment, you guys, but it's about learning how to rewire our body's response to stress over time so that that baseline that we're experiencing on the day-to-day is calmness, right? That's where we want to spend most of our time. Okay, so let's get into it. I want to walk you through 3 ways to calm an overactive nervous system. Super simple practices, you guys, but really incredibly effective. You can start using this stuff today to help calm your nervous system. Tool number 1, the first way to help calm an overactive nervous system is primal stress release movement. Primal stress release movement. Basically just move your body like an animal would when an animal was stressed out, right? That's the first tool. And it might surprise you because I'm not even talking about sitting still, calming down, taking deep breaths. You've got to move. When you are feeling amped up, activated, anxious, overwhelmed, you've actually got to get out of your head and into your body. You've got to move. And I'm talking about like intentional, primal, stress releasing movement. And here's why it works. When we're in fight or flight, let's just think about this for a moment. Just even the name, fight or flight. When we are activated and we are in fight or flight, every flipping cell in our body is primed for action, right? Every cell in our body wants to fight or flee. Our muscles tense up. Our heart pumps faster, right? Our body gets ready to either fight off a threat or run for our life. That response is wired in us through generations, right? Through evolution from way back when our stressors were, like actual tigers chasing us. But that's the catch. In modern life, most of the quote unquote threats that we experience are emails and deadlines and finances and, difficult people and children and all the things, right? And instead of running or fighting, we spend most of our day sedentary, sitting at a desk, right? Frozen in place. And all of that stress energy builds up in our bodies with nowhere to go. And that's why so often when you hear, well-intentioned advice to just like calm down by sitting still or calm down by breathing deeply, that can feel really impossible and uncomfortable in the moment because your body doesn't want calm, right? It actually wants movement. It wants to get to safety. It wants to defend itself. And your body actually needs to follow through on that impulse to move, that impulse to fight or to flee so that it can complete the stress cycle and finally signal to your nervous system that the threat has passed. So here's what I recommend. When you feel your stress levels rising, instead of fighting that urge to move, lean into it. Like find a place where you can just shake your body out. And I'm like literally shake your body out. Stand up, put your feet on the ground and just start shaking. Shake your arms out. You can hold your hands like in a goalpost above your head or just kind of wiggle them around and shake them out. Shake out your legs, kick out your legs, shake your hands. Let your whole body move however it wants to. And if that feels a little too crazy to start, put on your favorite dance song, you guys, a song that matches your energy and just let yourself move freely. The point isn't to look good or cool or follow any rules. It's not about doing this right or wrong. It's about creating a space where your body can move and burn and release that stress energy in the way that it naturally wants to, right? In the way that your body was designed to deal with stress. You're literally mimicking the animals in the wild after they've escaped a predator, right? Like I've seen my dog in my backyard see a squirrel or a lizard and like take off after that thing. And once it like runs away and my dog doesn't get it, all of that adrenaline and cortisol that was just released in my dog, right? My dog is so primed. What does my dog do after? It shakes it off, right? Our animals do that instinctively. They shake off that stress so they don't carry it with them. And they do it because it works. Will you feel a little ridiculous at first? Maybe. But as you move, you'll start to feel that tension melting away. And it's like your body gets to finish the story it was trying to tell. And here's the thing, you guys, it doesn't take long. You don't have to do this for 20 minutes. I'm telling you, the way your body was designed to function, like your dog doesn't shake it off for 20 minutes, right? Seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds of intentional movement can be enough to really help your nervous system complete that stress cycle, shift out of fight or flight. So the next time you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, aggravated, annoyed, frustrated, irritable, move, right? Think of that primal movement. Shake it out, dance it out, move it out, and give your body that chance to release what it's been holding on to. And you guys, this is like a huge part of what we go through in the first phase of the burnout recovery blueprint, because calming our nervous system requires us to have somatic tools. And imagine if you guys had a whole toolbox, a whole playlist, a whole library where you could just hit play on a bunch of different practices that would help your body complete the stress cycle. That's what I've created for you inside of the burnout recovery blueprint. I have a ton of 5, 10, and 15-minute somatic practices in all these different categories. So if you're wanting to calm anxiety, if you're wanting to manage overwhelm, if you're wanting to improve your sleep, if you're wanting to ground yourself when you're like ruminating and have all of these looping thoughts, if you're wanting to release stress, melt tension, like channel anger, increase your energy, whatever you're wanting, I have a practice for you. I have a meditation or a breath work practice, or just like a video somatic practice where you can hit play and then do it. And you'll notice that you're able to shift the state of your nervous system in just a few moments with these somatic practices because they complete the stress cycle in your body. So if that seems like it would be helpful for all of us. I know it. It's another reason, another bonus why to join the Burnout Recovery Blueprint in this January cohort. All right. The second tool I want to give you guys, the second way to calm an overactive nervous system is with your breath. Your breath, something that we do 20,000 something times a day, but we rarely think about it. I recently started reading this book called Breath. It's written by James Nestor. It's this big yellow book. You guys have probably seen it. It's everywhere. But I started reading it a few weeks ago. I'm like, how can someone write a whole book about breathing that's actually interesting? Well, he did it, and it's fascinating. And one of the most fascinating things that he talks about in this book is how something as simple as how we breathe, you guys, profoundly impacts our health and our longevity and so many of our different bodily functions and systems. And this is what's so interesting, most of us are doing it wrong. Because when we're stressed, you guys, we tend to breathe quickly. We tend to breathe shallowly, right? Usually through our mouths. All of those things signal to our nervous system that we're in danger. And they actually keep us locked in fight or flight. And that's like the wild part is that just by learning to intentionally change the way we breathe, we can actually shift the state of our body, right? We can actually kind of signal to our body, trick our body into believing that we're safe. And it's like hacking our biology in the most natural way possible. So in this book, the author talks about what he calls the perfect breath. And I hadn't really heard about this before. I've heard of all these different kind of breathing techniques, but I hadn't heard about this and kind of the history behind it. It's so simple. It's all of this through your nose. So it's inhaling through your nose for 5.5 seconds, exhaling through your nose for 5.5 seconds. And that's it. It's not complicated. There's no equipment. It's just like 5.5 seconds in, 5.5 seconds out. And what's amazing is that this pace works out to get this 5.5 breaths per minute, which research shows is the ideal rhythm for calming our nervous system, optimizing both our oxygen and our carbon dioxide levels and exchange in the body. So because of that balance, it's all about balance in our breath, right? When we breathe too quickly, we kind of throw off that balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide, and we start to feel tension and even more anxiety. But when we slow down our breath, when we regulate our breath, we're sending a direct signal to our vagus nerve. That's our nerve that controls our parasympathetic nervous system. That's kind of like our body's brake. If we were thinking about our body like a car with a gas pedal and a brake, that's like a big neon sign to our body that's like, hey, it's safe to calm down now. And that's all you do, guys. You close your mouth and you breathe in gently through your nose for a count of 5.5 seconds. And then you exhale through your nose for 5.5 seconds, letting that air just flow in and out naturally. And the key is consistency, right? It's the rhythm of the breathing, in for 5.5, out for 5.5. I've been doing this a few times a day. And I've been using this app called Paced Breathing. It's a free app. It's super simple app. It's not fancy, but you can literally just set it for how long you want to be breathing in. And if you want to do any holds or breathing out. So I just set it for like breathing in for 5.5 seconds, 0 hold, breathing out for 5.5 seconds, 0 hold. And then you can set it for how long you want to breathe for. So I'll do it for like 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, usually a few times a day. And then you just hit play and it'll make this little sound like for 5.5 seconds that you know you're inhaling. And when it gets to the top of the breath, your phone kind of vibrates. And then it'll make a different sound as you're exhaling for 5.5 seconds. And then you just can kind of close your eyes and listen and feel and just breathe. And it'll do all the counting for you. And the first couple minutes might be a little uncomfortable or boring, but I promise you're going to notice the state of your nervous system shifting. You're going to notice your heart rate slowing. Well, you might not notice your heart rate slowing down, but it will. Your muscles relaxing, right? Your mind starting to quiet. And then your nervous system is going to give you signals that it's starting to regulate. You might start to yawn. You might notice that you sigh. You might notice that you're swallowing a lot. Those are all signs that your nervous system is shifting. So that's the magic of the perfect breath. It's like flipping a switch to shift your nervous system out of fight or flight and into that state of calm and regulation. And my favorite thing about breathing and breath work like this is like, y'all, we can do this anywhere. Stuck in traffic, like perfect breath. Sitting at your desk, overwhelmed, perfect breath, right? It's portable, it's powerful, it's completely free. And it's an example of one of the types of breaths and body-based tools that we learn inside of the burnout recovery blueprint. So that's it. You can try it anywhere. You can do it now. Go download the app, Paced Breathing, set it to 5.5 seconds in, 5.5 seconds out. Start with like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and you can build up your, the length of time with which you breathe. And I think it's a great practice. You can do it in the morning when you wake up before you even get out of bed. Do it over your lunch break. Do it before you go to bed. I think that's a great practice. All right. And then third, the last final for today, third way to calm an overactive nervous system, bilateral stimulation, BLS, bilateral stimulation. If you've never heard of this term before, don't worry. It's something all of us do naturally without realizing it, just like breathing. And it's a total game changer when it comes to regulating an overactive nervous system. All right. So what is bilateral stimulation? Basically, it just means engaging both sides of the brain in this kind of like rhythmic alternating pattern. And we do this all day long. It can be done in so many different ways. We do it when we walk. We can do it by tapping different sides of our body. We can do it by listening to sounds that alternate from ear to ear. But the key is kind of having that like back and forth rhythm. And that helps calm our brain and our body by syncing up the two hemispheres of our brain. So when we're in a stress state, an activated state, an overwhelmed state, an anxious state, i.e. a dysregulated state, right? Our brain can get stuck in a loop. I don't need to tell you guys, you've probably experienced that. I know I have, right? We kind of over focus on the stressor. We worry, we ruminate, we, try to plan the living daylights out of everything. Bilateral stimulation disrupts that loop, because bilateral stimulation engages that logical problem-solving part of our brain while at the same time simultaneously soothing that emotional reactive part of our brain. It's kind of like giving our nervous system a gentle nudge that's like, hey, let's keep it moving. Let's not stay stuck here. If you guys have heard of like EMDR, or maybe you guys have tried EMDR therapy, it's a great practice that helps people process trauma. Very similar, same idea, right? So how might you put this into practice? Walking, right? Have you ever noticed that you go for a walk and all of a sudden you just like feel differently? You can think more clearly. You get all of these ideas and you're like, wow, where'd that come from? And like, I know for my business, like I get the best ideas when I'm out walking. That's bilateral stimulation, right? Or have you ever been like instinctively just rocking like back and forth? You're upset about something or you're worried about something and you're just kind of like sitting in your chair. I'm like doing it now, rocking back and forth, or you're standing in line at the grocery store, rocking back and forth. That natural movement helps our brain process emotions and helps us come back to a state of calm. Another one I love to do myself and with my clients is butterfly tapping. So let's talk about how to do this one. If you're not driving right now, if you're able to use your hands, you guys can try this, but just start by crossing your arms over your chest and kind of have like each hand resting just below your collarbone. So cross your arms over your chest, your fingers kind of like below your shoulders, your upper chest by your collarbone, kind of like making a butterfly shape with your arms and your hands over your chest. And you're just going to tap one hand at a time. So tap your left hand, tap your right hand, left, right, tapping right around your collarbone, left, right, just in this slow, steady rhythm. Doesn't need to be a big movement. Just a gentle tap will do the trick. And as you tap, allow yourself to really breathe slow, deep breaths. Imagine doing this while even doing the perfect breath. That would be awesome. And notice how your body feels. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them, whatever feels safer and more grounding to you. Set a timer. Do this for 1 or 2 minutes, even longer if you have time. And you'll notice a sense of relief, shift in your emotions, maybe just a feeling of being more present in your body. And that rhythmic tapping is gently engaging both sides of your brain. It's helping to process whatever stress or overwhelm you might be feeling, especially if you're in like a place where you're spiraling, right? Where the looping thoughts are happening or you're experiencing big emotions, because it gives your nervous system a way to complete that stress cycle and come back down to baseline. And we talk more about this. I'll give you guys other BLS techniques inside of the Burnout Recovery Blueprint, and other tools that you can integrate into your daily life really helping with ongoing nervous system regulation. Okay, so that's the 3 I've got for you today. 3 ways to calm an overactive nervous system. Don't try all of these at once. Don't add overwhelm and stuff that you have to do. Just start with one. If one feels like you want to give it a shot, you want to try the bilateral stimulation, you want to try the perfect breath and download that app, you want to try moving the next time you feel really anxious and doing some primal movement and shaking or dancing, awesome. Just choose one. You have 3 powerful tools here that will help to calm your nervous system. And then notice which tool or tools seem to have the greatest impact for you. Because at the end of the day, our bodies are all different, right? Find what works and do more of that. But here's the thing, we're not done yet. This is a 2-part series because 1, it's great to have these tools when we're feeling activated and dysregulated and anxious and all of those things when we need them, right? These tools are powerful and they're great. And I love teaching them. And we also have to address why you're feeling so dysregulated to begin with, right? Why do you need to use these tools or feel like you have to use them? Why are you feeling so anxious? Why are you feeling so activated? So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to dive deeper into that and zoom out a bit because I want to give you guys foundational tools and habits that will help reduce the dysregulation of your nervous system at the source. So you're actually not feeling as anxious or overwhelmed or activated to begin with. All right. Sound good. All right. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being with me today. Come back for part 2. I'll talk to you guys soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.